so it can actually still continue. So, Toilets Chair for the forthcoming year, 2026-27.
Does the current chair want to continue?
Proposed and seconded, and I'm happy to.
I'll nominate Andy.
Okay, so we've got a proposer for Andy, and a seconder. Thank you.
Nobody else is good to know.
I'm happy.
Nominated Martin.
Well, yeah, it's on the
Yeah.
box.
Yeah.
I'll
So,
second that.
Sarah and Nathan personally nominating me. Any other takers? No? Okay, so we'll go to a vote then. So, those in favour of Stephen? And sorry. It's all looking at you, Stephen. Thank you very much. Those in favour of Andy? Sorry. 3. And those in favour of myself? 6. I'll stop saying this one. Excellent, okay. And then to...
So we need to name that group.
Okay, so members of the general public, any questions? Yes?
Quick question. 12 councillors sat around that table. Do you all represent me as a resident of the village?
We certainly try to represent everybody, so yourself on that, yeah?
So the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So I've got an issue that I'm seeing I get a little bit disturbed with the use of abstain around this table, which is a waste of vote and not in the public interest. I raised it with the council around this table, who actually said, his very words, I do not represent you, please go and ask the ones that cover Ackworth, which is contrary to what you just said and just agreed. Sean, wait a minute please, do not interrupt. So, I've done as I was asked. Councillor Maiden was at the meeting that I attended. I asked her the question. I've asked Councillor Cook. Councillor Sherry, I've not got to yet, but I will set a meeting up because it's unfair to ask you in front of everyone. So we will have a discussion outside this to just ask your opinion. The one that I did get back, and Sean's clearly put his hand up so he's owned up who it is, I was quite disturbed in I got a couple of answers, and I eventually got to the final answer, which was, doesn't want to be seen negative in the village. Guys, you are all sat around that table to make decisions, and it should be a yes or no. I don't know where the abstain comes from, and it shouldn't be to make you look good in front of the village. Looking good in front of the village is making decisions, and making hard decisions. And some of them are going to be difficult decisions that us as the public don't like, but actually you've got to make those. So stop doing it for your own sake, do it for the village, and you're speaking on behalf of the village. Right, let me just let Sean have his conversation, because I've got a second question after that one. Sean.
What I said, the reason I abstained, right, because we sometimes get the minutes with the recommendations in, and we don't know what the recommendations are. And I do my investigation first, and then I approve or disagree. Basically.
I mean, I'm the chair of the meeting, but no one's answerable to me, I just chair the meeting.
If you look at where I've just done some reports in the past, with flooding and things, but what I said, I'm not actually the area council for Ackworth, I'm for this area, no top, but I do represent all Ackworth.
Yeah.
And that was the question, do you all represent? So don't fob me off and send me to talk to other councillors. You all should be there representing the whole village, regardless of where we live.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm just stating it, and by the way, I'm monitoring how many times we abstain. And the reason, and that's great, that camera, I don't know who posts it, but actually it tells the villagers who's abstaining and not making decisions.
hang on,
Why are you saying we shouldn't
so,
abstain?
Because you're avoiding making
hang on,
difficult decisions.
let me just
yes
bring
or
it,
no.
let me just bring it back. The first point I'll make is, I mean, people have different opinions on whether people should or should not abstain. Each councillor can abstain if they want to on a vote. That is their right. It happens in Parliament. People can have an opinion on that. You're certainly entitled to, you know. But I hardly ever abstained. I mean, funnily enough, I just abstained on the vote to the chair. I was nominated and that vote went through. But it is right for all councillors to be able to abstain. That is an option. You don't have to vote. There's nothing mandatory. There's nothing in the code of conduct saying that you do. But I do agree with you. You're here to make decisions. Personally, my opinion would be follow or against. You know what I mean? I generally think I follow that, unless there might be something where I'm totally bang down the middle for whatever reason, and I might decide to support. So I won't want to say never, but it certainly should be the rule, if that makes sense.
And that's fine. I've made my statement. It's a weak way of evaluating. Let me ask the second question. The 40-year lease you just signed for Ackworth, Wakefield, how much do they charge for that on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis? Because I can't find it in any meeting minutes or finance reports.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So our side has signed that's with Wakefield.
Yeah. How much
Is that correct? Is that
It's with
correct?
Ackworth, there's
Yeah.
no charge.
So there's no charge?
No charge.
Yeah.
Right, okay. That's fine, that's not fair. I just
Yeah.
need to understand why people are suggesting we buy it when we don't actually pay for it as it is. So why waste public money? But that's another discussion outside of here. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much. It's members of the public. I'm going to bring some more in.
Answer.
Well, it's their time, so let me bring them in. Yeah, I'll
So I've got the same question basically, but the other way around. I asked at the AGM, the clerk was charged in December with inquiring as to the price to buy the land off of Wakefield, and hopefully they'd give us it for a peppercorn or give us it for nothing. Has that been done?
So it was agreed that it would be done after the assembly.
So we've had it.
So the question, Chair, was posed at the Assembly, and the rule is that you send it back to the authority, which is us. So I have actually got this ready, because obviously this is our first meeting since the Assembly.
Yeah.
Are you okay for me to
Yeah, of
answer it
course.
all? So in answer to your question, Alistair, at the time in December, in the minutes it says it was noted that this would be reviewed by the clerk once the budget and preset process had been completed and resource available. It's actually one of our busiest times of year, the start of the year. We have now finished the budget and precept, and we're just finalising year end. Part of that is this evening's meeting to finalise year end tomorrow. So it will now be that there's resource available, so it's next on the list to action, because as I'm sure you can appreciate, we can't action all of the things that come through council at the same time. We have to priority manage the workload.
But if it had been a peppercorn or nil transaction, surely it would have been better to have gone for that instead of spending money on a solicitor. At the moment, it's just been in limbo. It's back with Wakefield. We still haven't got a lease on it.
I mean, again...
Sorry.
So,
I was going to say, that's not mine to answer. I just follow the instruction of the council.
I mean, again, what I would say is there's an assumption there would be a peppercorn rent. There's an assumption that they won't sell it off for, that's a lot of assumptions. You'd have to go, you'd have to get advice on that. I wouldn't necessarily say it's just clean cut, oh, we want that bit of land, oh, we can have it because we're a parish council. That's just not how it works. I do understand as well, certainly to my understanding at least, it has been explored before. Wakefield did at one point offer it and then they withdrew it. This was before I was ever elected, is my understanding. And, I'm sure other councillors at the time might have more knowledge on that. So it has been explored and withdrawn by the people that you're saying we should. That's potentially why we've done it, but I've got no problem with that potentially being looked. But I don't see why we can't get a lease in the meantime, since that needs sorting out as well. And that's something that we've had.
When you're saying you can't see why you can't get it, you potentially have wasted your solicitor's money in drawing this up or reviewing it, as opposed to basically trying to get it for nothing. I mean, I'm strange. Why would I want to go ahead and spend money on something that I don't need to spend it when potentially you can get it for nothing? Forgive me. To me, it just seems a crass stupidity, but
With due respect, I have said that it has been explored, and it's not so long ago that it was explored. That's why we went through the lease route. And seeing as this parish council's had a lot of criticism for not sorting out the lease, you know, to suddenly come in and say that we should have explored this, that was never on the table. And this parish council was under a lot of pressure to get a lease sorted, and that's why we went down that route. And there's an assumption there as well that we have the money to just maintain and pay for the upkeep and everything like that as well. The lease is the better option, I think, at the moment. We should certainly be securing that. So that's what we're certainly exploring at the minute.
will you not be paying for the upkeep of it anyway?
So
I don't know.
it's how much responsibility we totally have is the other thing. So again, we were under a lot of pressure. We're going down the route that we've gone, and yeah, we can certainly explore this again. But it has been explored not so long ago. That's why that hasn't been. And to bring it suddenly at the Assembly just months ago, after we've had questions on this very issue, you know, it's not just the council to just be all and everything.
All right.
You know, we're following what we think is the best
One
thing.
more
So there we
request
go.
to
That's
you.
what we're doing.
I've asked it at the Assembly, but I'd asked it probably about 3 months before December. Why don't you explore it? So it's not something that I've just brought out of a hat like a rabbit and said, look at this. I'd asked in the public meetings before that, in the public sector, why don't you? And then it was also then brought up by a member of the parish council as well after that, why don't you? So it's not something that's just come about.
Don't spend any of my taxpayers' money buying it when we use it for free.
I'm hoping we're going to get
That's all I'm
I'm hoping
saying.
we're going to get it for nothing.
If you want to pay for it, you pay for
I'm
it.
hoping we're going to get it for nothing.
Again, I will just add, and this, can I just, so again, I will just add, with my knowledge as a district council, I do believe that there are other assets in Wakefield that have recently gone through such things, such as light waves, that's been all over Facebook, having been given away for £1. And my understanding is as well that may be getting reversed. So these things are not all clean cut. You're assuming that Wakefield Council just give it away. There's no assumption there, and we don't have those funds to be able to buy it. I certainly don't agree with that. So it's certainly the best option to look to get a lease, and if we can secure and get it for the peppercorn rent or whatever it is at a later point, having a lease doesn't hurt that. It secures everything in my mind. It secures us having what we need in place and allowing to proceed with certain things that need to happen. So, shall I make a comment?
The village asset transfer that we're inquired about, it was to give the land free, but not to buy it, and if we buy it, it becomes a village asset. Also,
Again, there's an assumption it will be given away by Wakefield for free. That is not guaranteed.
no, a village asset, to buy it, we could retransfer the sum money, possibly to buy the land.
Well, again, we'd have to look into, I don't have
We have
the
66,000.
recommendation. Again, you're just assuming that it meets the criteria for that. The SIL funding has specific criteria. I'm not necessarily 100% sure that just buying land is necessarily something that's available for SIL funding.
The strict rules around land.
Exactly.
Around so.
So, again, a lot of assumptions here made, not necessarily in the best interest of the village. We need to proceed and get something secured, and we can certainly explore these options. Having the lease is actually a better guarantee. It guarantees it. That's certainly my view. Others could disagree or agree with me. That's up to them. So, Nathan, sorry.
Just for my own understanding, Chair, I would believe that whether we rent it or we buy it, a solicitor's advice would have been necessary anyways.
And that's my understanding as well. So just
involved.
Yeah, so assuming that it would just be cost free, I just think I don't agree with that whatsoever. Are there any other questions from the general public? Rita? Thank you for attending, by the way, because I know you both stood in the recent elections, so congratulations on what you achieved. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I'll bring the public session to a close. We've elected myself as chair, so I've signed. Item 3 then, to elect a vice chair of the council for the year 26-27. Nathan, yeah.
Propose the current vice chair, if he wants to still do it.
Proposal for John.
Put forward anyway.
Just checking you're happy to continue.
Yep.
Yeah. Seconder for John. Amanda, yeah. thank you.
I propose Andy.
Andy, I'll try not to say your name. I'll try not to put down Stephen's. Yes, just shrouded Stephen. Where's the second? Okay, so votes for Andy. 3. Votes for John. Got 7. Excellent, so John's Vice Chair. I'll send my apologies for the next meeting. Joking. Any apologies to the Bridget?
We have Councillor Susie Sherry and Councillor Helen Hall for those reasons share that have been ran through.
Okay, thanks, yeah. Do we all approve those reasons? Yeah, thank you very much. Item 5. Declarations of interest in dispensation. So I've received 2. So one from Sharon and one from John, and they're both for the same reason. So so I'm just checking. Item 17 and 19. It's so item 17 is to discuss only, so not to vote on that particular item. Is that right for both of you? And item 19, just that's a finance sort of like picking the best value sort of thing. You want in voting rights on that as well.
So it's just, so Chair, it's just so I've got it for my minutes, we've got discussion for 17 but no vote and normal for 19.
Yeah,
is that right? Yeah.
that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so thank you. So we just need to consider
You've got that, yeah.
and decide upon the written applications of dispensation, and if we're happy to grant those. So I'll take votes in favour of granting those dispensations to both of them. So those in favour? 5 votes against? 3 against. Dispensations are granted through the majority. Okay, so that's done. Committees, subcommittees, outside bodies and delegation arrangements for annual review. 6.1 to appoint any new committees or propose changes to existing committees structure. So in our packs we had a proposed new structure which was suggested by the office, by yourself,
yes,
yeah. Any quick comments? I've got no issue with it personally, and we've all probably read further in the packs as well. It just basically means that we'll be moving meeting dates that seem to struggle specifically for events on a Tuesday to a Monday, and we sort of meet on a Monday quite regularly for everything anyway. Are there any comments?
I think it's an excellent idea to make events a standing committee again. I think it's one of the biggest touch points that people in the village actually have with us, more probably so than in the community centres, is a gala and the events. So I think it warrants, just from that standpoint, the respect.
The respect.
The comments of a committee.
Yeah. Can I get a proposal and seconder for the new structure then? Andy and Amanda, I'll take. And votes in favour of the new structure then? All in favour, unanimous.
Thank you.
Okay, that's. Right. 6.2 to review the terms of reference of committees.
So Chair, when we were online, the only amendment that it would be is that the events reflect that it's a committee and not a subcommittee.
Yes, thank you. Got all the joyous tasks today, haven't we? Are there any comments on terms of reference? No? Can we get a proposal and seconder then that we accept those? And obviously that'll take into account that events is now committee as well. Nathan and Sharon? Votes in favour? Unanimous. Thank you very much. 6.3, to review delegation arrangements to committees, subcommittees, staff and other local authorities. Okay, so, first of all, is there anyone wanting to come off of any of the committees that they are currently on? Ah, sorry. Sorry, I've jumped
So
ahead.
there's no changes from my
Sorry,
point
yeah.
of view, everything's
Sorry.
online. If councillors wanted to review that online, but the terms of reference again will stay the same.
Thank
Obviously,
you.
the
I've
delegation will be the
jumped
same.
a bit ahead further down, but I've just got it to do, so I'm probably a bit eager to get on to it. So yeah, are there any comments on that then, in terms of delegate? No? Proposer and seconder to continue with what it has. Nathan and Sharon again. Votes in favour? Thank you very much. Unanimous. 6.4, to elect representatives to parish council committees. So I'm on the right agenda item now. Is there anyone wanting to come off of any committees, creating a vacancy?
If those dates are correct, then it's fine. I just can't do Tuesdays, so we're going to change it all right.
Okay, so
But I know the same applies to Susan, I would say.
yeah, is there anyone wanting to go on any committees that would call the vote?
Just on your previous question about people wanting to come off.
So yeah, no one wants to come off, so
Well,
that's
no, I just want to say something on that. My understanding is that Lynn has said that she'd like to come off the F&GP because of work commitments. I don't know whether other people have.
Okay.
I'm as sure as I can be that that's what she said.
Okay, so that opens up a position on F&GP that we'll definitely need to fill then. Is there anyone wanting